Thank you, Mike. All right, it's going to be a little challenging. First, thank you to the musicians over there and the guest artists. Let's see, who did I spot? Surprise appearances by parent and trustee Stacy Nicholas. My best buddy, Claire Fromm. I think you were singing, were you not? Yeah. Who else? Let's see. Janine Graham, Stacy Miles, Allie Mayer, Harrison White, Morgan Higgins, Katie Wexler, Carly Page. Who else had a solo? Nice. Really good. Thank you very much. I have a great fondness for that particular song, primarily because I have spent in my 10 years here, we have, my wife and I and 2 dogs have crisscrossed the country 10 times. We've driven every time. So when Darcy starts with a plane bound east, that's wrong, it's a car bound east. And we have come to love, in a kind of perverse and weird way, this beautiful country of ours, and its Motel 6s and other places along the way that have provided refreshment and nourishment for us as we made this cross-country trip. But we would do it again in a heartbeat. And I would say that that song, and I think it's true for all of us who are leaving today, at the end of this day, that we will always look at this school as home, because it has been. So this is a slightly different role for me this year, as I've always had the honor of introducing the keynote speaker at commencement, and then the pleasure of sitting back and taking a nap and sort of just listening. So with that, encouraging you not to nap or go to sleep too quickly, I do comment that this commencement is different for me, and it is, of course, different and special by definition for the class of 2013, as we come together one last time before heading off in our separate directions. It is a little daunting to follow Emily and live up to the high bar she has set on so many levels in her St. Margaret's career. Thank you, Emily, and I gotta tell you, I can't imagine that there has been another time in your life when you were in over your head, other than that one time we fell in the swimming pool. So, thank you for making up that other part of the story. I don't believe it. Okay, well, when members of the class of 2013 were born, some 18 years ago, our country and our school looked a little different than they do today. There was no Gateway building. The upper school was housed over there in the newly acquired Highland Hall. There was no Stoddard Humanities building, the Young Math and Science Center, Pasternak Field House, or Tartan Field. The library was in a small room off the Fountain Courtyard. Mark Campaign was our headmaster. David Boyle was our middle school principal. And Janine Clark had recently returned to her alma mater after 4 years at Wellesley College and was teaching 6th grade science and ancient civilizations. 2 courses for which she has explained to me she was not exactly well qualified. Bill Clinton was president. O.J. Simpson was arrested and subsequently found not guilty. Nelson Mandela was elected in South Africa. The tragedy in Rwanda had escalated. The Oklahoma City bombings dominated the headlines. Israel and Palestine signed a hopeful accord. Israeli Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin was subsequently killed. A major earthquake took place in Los Angeles. Schindler's List won the Oscar. The White House launched its first webpage. Richard Nixon and Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis passed away. The World Series was canceled. Dallas beat Buffalo in the Super Bowl. Where were my Patriots? I can't remember. Springsteen's Streets of Philadelphia was the best song. And the United States Supreme Court, led by William Rehnquist, made key decisions on flag burning, school prayer, privacy, and affirmative action that remain with us still today. As always, there was a lot going on. Clearly, in your relatively short lives, Our school and our world have navigated interesting and challenging waters, where each step along the way decisions were made and lives were impacted. The decision for you, members of the class of 2013, to come to St. Margaret's, I'm sure, was a big one for your family. It was a choice, a fork in the road, a moment in time, when you could have gone in a variety of directions, but this decision was made to come here, to this school. Some years ago, as I was doing one of my very favorite things, greeting lower school parents as they arrived at school in the morning, I overheard a mother saying to her son, who, it was very clear, really wasn't at all interested in what this woman had to say. School was starting, he was ready to go, and he barely looked back over his shoulder as he ran down the sidewalk when she said, "I love you. Make good choices." He never missed a beat, never missed a stride, but I heard it. And this admonition has repeated itself over and over again in one way or another in the daily life of our school, as decisions and choices are a regular part of the fabric of growing up. Of course, some choices are more important than others, and my guess is that this woman, this young mother, was not so concerned that day with the actual academic courses her son would select or the college he would choose to eventually attend. My sense is she was much more concerned with the small decisions of the day that had the potential to become big and life-changing. The friends he would make, the way he would treat others, the way others would treat him. When I was a little boy and in the process of figuring out just who I was, a process, by the way, I might add I'm still working on, my father shared several poems with me, some of which made immediate sense, and others which seemed a little too vague and a little too abstract. One such poem in the latter category was a poem called The Bridge Builder by a little-known author named Will Allen Doomgall. Some of you may be familiar with this poem. I decidedly was not at the time, and I really haven't heard much about it since. But as time has passed, I've come to value more and more the meaning of the poem, and I want to share it with you this evening, class of 2013, as you move on to the next chapter in your lives. It goes like this. An old man going a lone highway came at the evening, cold and gray, to a chasm vast and deep and wide, through which was flowing a sullen tide. The old man crossed in the twilight dim, but he turned but stayed safe on the other side and built a bridge to span the tide. "Old man," said a fellow pilgrim near, "you're wasting your time with building here. Your journey will end on the closing day. You never again will pass this way. You have crossed the chasm deep and wide. Why build you the bridge at the eventide?" The builder lifted his old gray head. "Good friend, in the path I have come," he said, "there followeth after me today a youth whose feet must pass this way. This stream has been not to me, to the fair-headed youth, a pitfall be. He too must cross in twilight dim. Good friend, I am building the bridge for him." This is a simple poem with a clear message about making choices. We live today in an imperfect world, and you, members of the class of 2013, will be called upon to make decisions and choices that will not only impact your lives, but the lives of many others as well. Each of you will approach these decisions in your own way, guided by the principles and values you've learned at home, here at school, and in the course of living your life each and every day. Some years ago, when we crafted our current mission statement emphasizing learning, leadership, and service, we were guided that the notion, from those to whom much has been given, much is expected. We hope then, and still hope today, that you and your fellow Tartans would move on from St. Margaret's committed to making the world a better place. This sounds so basic and perhaps even trite, but the manner in which you approach your lives and the way you define success will have a huge impact on the difference you make. For some, success means secession or withdrawal. gathering enough resources to live an insulated life, free from the challenges of the everyday, far removed from the pain and suffering of those in need. For others, like the bridge builder, success means something different. It means remembering where you came from and a willingness to share the lessons you have learned with those who follow in your footsteps. My hope for the members of class of 2013 is that as you walk through the journeys of your lives, you will be highly successful in navigating the inevitable challenges and troubled waters that lie ahead. And that once safely on the other side, you, like the bridge builder, will make the choice to share your wisdom and your knowledge with those coming behind you. This is the season of J.K. Rowling, I guess, because J.K. Rowling of Harry Potter fame said it this way: if you choose to use your status and influence to raise your voice on behalf of those who have no voice, if you choose to identify not only with the powerful, but with the powerless, if you retain the ability to imagine yourself into the lives of those who do not have your advantages, then it will not only be your proud families who celebrate your existence, but thousands and millions of people whose reality you have helped transform for the better. We do not need magic to change the world. We carry all the power we need inside ourselves already. We have the power to imagine better. This is very heavy stuff. Today and in the days to come, many will offer advice and perspectives on how best to live your life, just as I am doing now. This is something of a prerogative for parents and grandparents and teachers and friends and, yes, retiring headmasters. Most of us know, however, that in the end you will live your lives guided by the choices you make, and the feelings behind those choices at the time they are made. I have been truly blessed by a choice I made more than 4 decades ago, when I made the simple but not carefully thought out decision to give teaching a try and spend my life in schools with young people. What a gift it has been. Whatever you do, and wherever your travels take you, I hope you, members of the class of 2013, will use the light that shines in each of you to light the path for others less fortunate, and use your voice in all its many forms to speak out on behalf of those who have no voice. Listen to your heart, light the way, remember where you came from, build a bridge, make a difference. There's a world out there that needs you, and you can